So we were upstairs in the third floor. It's in a room I call the attic room.
Okay.
And we were on the upstairs floor in the attic room, and we were having a child spirit come through. We were communicating with a child spirit. And we were fortunate enough to have a photographer with us with his infrared camera that night. And we were also videotaping. And so we knew what was going on in relation to the pictures being taken. And this photographer took a picture, and he's like, holy, you know what? And I said, what? He goes, look at this picture. And in the picture, there are 3 people sitting on the floor. But in actuality, there were only 2 of us.
You take people on adventures.
Investigations.
Investigations.
Mm-hmm.
But they are adventures.
Sometimes they're adventures, absolutely.
And you just do that, and they just come to you, and they want to go to the jail, and they want to go to different parts of Arizona. And do they always have a paranormal experience?
What I tell people is that I cannot promise that they have a paranormal experience. Sure. I don't recall ever. Did you recall ever? Mm-hmm. I don't recall ever having an investigation where we haven't had paranormal experiences. Because let's think a little bit bigger. Let's look at the big picture. It's not just the location that I'm at. And I love Globe. I love investigating Globe. I like to call Globe the biggest little city, or the biggest little haunted city in Arizona. And so it's the locations, while they're phenomenal, and this building that we're sitting in is phenomenal, and the history is phenomenal, it's the people who come on my investigations. So we start every investigation by telling people it's a puzzle. Every investigation's a puzzle, and it's a different puzzle. And they are the pieces of that puzzle, because they may be bringing an attachment with them. They may have their own abilities, or have abilities that they're not even aware of. Or they may have a spirit that takes a liking to them, or a disliking to them. And so that can change the type of activity that we have.
How often do you have people do this and say, this is just a hoax, this is all crazy, why? I mean, that must happen.
Yeah.
And what happens then?
I never have anyone say this is a hoax. What I'll have, and I'll give a perfect example, we had 2 gentlemen show up for one of our investigations. And I always ask, has anyone had any stories to share with us? Number 1, do you believe in it? Do you not believe in it? And these 2 gentlemen were like, we don't believe in it. And this was at the jail. And I said, well, why don't you believe? Why are you here? Number 1, are you just curious about it? And to be perfectly honest, they said their wives wanted a girls' night out, so they bought them 2 passes for my investigation so the guys would have something to do. Okay, fair enough. But they're like, but we don't believe it. And I said, you can be skeptical. I love a good, healthy dose of that, as long as you're respectful. On our investigations, we go all the way up to the fancy equipment, down to some of the simplest equipment, the most basic. And my favorite piece of equipment is the dowsing rods. And these are just copper dowsing rods. And I hated using dowsing rods when I first got them, but something told me I need to learn how to use these. It was just, I needed to. And I love dowsing rods because I feel like they turn you into the piece of equipment. They're an extension of you. When I'm communicating with the spirits, I always like to say, so to the spirits in the room, thank you for allowing me into your space. This is your home. I'm just a visitor here. I'll be as respectful as possible. I hope you remember me. And I brought my dowsing rods, or what I like to call my talking sticks. And if you could please communicate with me using these, I'm going to ask that you cross for yes and open for no. Are there any spirits here with me today? If so, please cross my sticks. And it's okay, these people here are just trying to learn your story. So you can come forward. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm going to uncross them. Can you please point my rod to where you're standing? Okay. So right next to you.
Yeah, actually, I can feel that.
Yeah.
Real powerful.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that.